What's up YouTube? My name is Amysbro. For this video we are going to be talking about a very interesting subject, and it's going to be one that I've recently started talking to at great length. A dear friend of mine, we call her Leafy Dream, on Twitter, runs a pretty nice blog dealing with K-dramas and Otoges, Otome Games and so forth. So if you want to go check that out, I will put a link to the Twitter and the WordPress down here in the description, so y'all can go check it out and have a look through and a read through. And yes, we talk a lot. But the subject we're going to talk about is one that's apparently come up recently, and it's one that I don't think we talk about much. It is the importance of the female lead in an Otome game. Now, first off, let me say this. Okay. This is going to be a weird video or a unique video because it's a guy talking about it. Okay. I know full well and good these games are designed for females. I get that. I get the idea is that the idea of the game is for the female player, that's you, mostly to to guide your avatar, your female lead, from point A to point B. Point A being getting to know the particular gentleman in the game. Point B being one of the endings of the game. Hopefully the best ending possible if you're good enough and you know which ending you're going for. And you know the choices that you need. But here's the problem. Do the heroines in these games, do they get enough love? That's what we're going to talk about. How do I explain this? There's two particular Otome series which I have become a fan of. One I've been a fan of for about 3 years, and one it gradually took me time because it was a bit of a culture shock for me. The series in question were Diabolic Lovers and Utopre. Utopre was the one that I basically became a fan of instantly. Die Lovers was the one that I had to gradually get the flavor of and understand this is an Alice in Wonderland. This is pretty much a very twisted tale, and I have to get used to that. Which you would think I would have gravitated to automatically because I love like a good horror, gothic story, and this was right up my alley. So you would think I would be in for something like that. But that took time. Not because of the female character. I actually felt sympathy for her. But it was because of the male characters, because they were pretty much stalking her at the time. Now, of course, at the time when I was trying to get the flavor for Die Lovers, I had just watched also Brothers Conflict, which is another one of my favorites, as we all well know. So I went from that to Die Lovers, and I'm like, the hell am I watching? Because let's be honest, Diabolic Lovers, going from Brocon to that, is a shock to the system, as I will repeat in this video probably a couple of times. But it's a shock to the system because while in Brothers Conflict the 13 brothers all have their infatuation to varying degrees with the MC, Emma, Hinata / Asahina, in Diabolic Lovers, these are 6 sadistic characters. Now I say 6 because of when I originally started watching Die Lovers, that you had the 6 brothers. Well, actually, they're half brothers, but that's a whole other thing. So, trying to get used to their personalities versus the Asahina brothers was a whoa. Then, of course, we get to not Brothers Conflict. Then, of course, we get to Udapri, and that's a whole other situation. And I also have watched Amnesia recently, as we all know. I've seen at least 4 reverse harem Otoge animes. And the 2 characters that I've seen arguably get the most hate of these 4 were Yui Kamori from Diabolic Lovers and Haruka Nanami from Udapri. I almost drew a blank. But my question is, why do they get hated on? Those 2 specifically. We'll focus on that. Well, Yui is useless, she's powerless, she's da-da-da-da-da. She's also at the time living with 6 brothers who were purebloods, who could, if they wanted to, basically maim her and kill her. They weren't going to take shit from a human being. Now, of course, we all know the truth about who Yui is and what she was born with or what she was given, but that doesn't change anything. It's the simple fact that here's this girl, she has to live with 6 brothers, and if they wanted to kill her, they could do it in 2 seconds. They wouldn't even have to think. But she lives with them. Now, of course, when we move on to more blood, we meet the Mukami family. And I notice I said family when I didn't refer to them as brothers. We meet the Mukami family, who is more of a family atmosphere. Yes, they still want her for their own personal reasons, but if you see in the anime, at least you know that they also, in their own way, do care about her. And it shows as you go through the course of that particular series. I haven't gotten to their roots yet because I have to play through Sakamaki roots first, but I will eventually do the compare and contrast on that. But from what I've seen, the Mukami family is a very, in their own way, a very loving and a very caring family, and they look out for each other. In a weird way, I'm going to make a very weird comparison. They're almost like the heavens of Die Lovers, at least that I've seen. That's just me, though, and I could be completely wrong in the end, but that's just the way I see them right now. I still have to play, of course, through 5 more games. But that is Yui Kamori. Now let's move over to Haruka Nanami. Haruka is a very interesting character because you have to understand, for people that want to say she's oblivious or an idiot, you have to understand she's going to a school where one of the main rules is love is forbidden. So the idea that she's just going to up and go, oh my god, I have a picket litter here, and have, 6 boys at the start, then became 7, then it became 11, then it became 18. Yeah. You think she's got the picket litter? And keep in mind, as at least the anime is going on, she's become even more focused on her career, not just as a composer, but as a businesswoman. Because not only is she having to compose songs for now 18 people, apparently, But now she has to focus on promoting their careers also. I mean, we've seen Legend Star. We've seen how much of a business-like manner she took when she was around Heavens. That's the Haruka Nanami that Broccoli wants to portray to us, the viewers, and in some cases also, well, the games are different. The games you can determine which way it goes, but to us, the players, and I guess in some ways that may be what frustrates people with why she is the way she is when it comes to the anime. And that's fine. But she's not an idiot and she's not stupid. She's a very smart girl. You have to be able to compose all those songs, and you have to be able to go into a business meeting and say, okay, we're going to be promoting blah, 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 and we have to go here. You know, remember this, okay? You could say she was a servant, the slave, whatever. But remember this. One entire episode of Udapri was dedicated to her being the assistant, we'll say, because I want to be a bit nicer about it, to Kenu, the Count of Permafrost. There's a reason that she, you know, okay, you could say it's part of the story anyway, but can you imagine being the assistant to someone like him? A guy who is beyond a perfectionist. He's like OCD out the wazoo. He also has a sweet tooth, that's a whole other thing. And here's this guy, right? He helps the Silk Queen rule over a country. He's loyal to her. At least in the anime, and it's like, at least in the anime, he's not really showing that much of a romantic interest to her, but he's very much loyal, in the way it seems so far, to his queen. Now, we don't know if we know the story of the games. He's willing to do certain things, but anyway, I haven't gotten those endings. Yeah, I have to get those games. Anyway. My point of this is, when we look at, say, these two, they're not stupid, they're not powerless, they're not idiots. They have their own, I don't know if quirks is the right way to put it, but they have their own things about them that make them important. And let's think about this. For female players, shouldn't, like, Haruka's path, at least in the anime, be something that every woman wants to strive for? You know, to be successful, to be intelligent, to be, you know, to be one of the best in your field, and to be successful doing it, while balancing not just a professional life, but a personal life on top of it. And believe me, when it comes to Udapri, you could say it's exaggerated to a degree, and it is, because think about it. You're trying to juggle a personal and professional life, and in Udapri's case, now you got 3 units. You got 18 people basically wanting to date you. Well, I guess in a weird way you can say it's like 12, because we only know so far that Vaughn has outwardly really expressed his desires to want to date Nanami. So you could say realistically right now it's 12. Okay? But think about that for a second. Think about how interesting and important those two characters are. Now, if you move over to, say, Amnesia, right? I mean, look at this one. You have a girl who doesn't even know who she is. She can't remember her name. She can't remember anything about the people that were around her. Literally, her life is having to get pieced back together to try and get her memories back. And there's like 5 different routes. 4 of them are playing card, or the suits of playing cards. You know, diamond, spade, joker, heart. Then of course there's the Joker, the 5th route, Yukos. The he will kill you in an instant route. The I have 15 bad endings to my name route. You don't think when, this girl, who, keep in mind, has no memory, has to deal with him? Oh boy, that's a scary one. Because think about it. If you're not careful, and you pick the wrong stuff at certain points, you're dead. Game over. Have a nice day. The point is, however, that she has a handicap. A literal handicap. Now, this one's curable. Amnesia, you can eventually get your memory back. But imagine walking around not knowing who you are. Imagine walking around and you have to try and remember places that you worked, people you were friends with, people that maybe you weren't really, who your family is, just things in general. Imagine all that for 30 seconds. And imagine how much hell it is. It ain't fun, kids. It ain't easy. It's one of the scariest situations to think about, because you're walking around not knowing who you are, what you've done. I mean, thankfully she didn't kill anyone, but that's Indigo Prophecy. Oops, spoiler. No, but if you ever played that game, that's a fun one, actually. But here's what I'm getting at. I'm going to try and encapsulate this in a second. Otome characters always need to be respected. Now, I only named these 3 because these are 3 that I've played games that have them involved, or I've watched the animes for. Okay? And of course we have, Brothers Conflict, and we have that situation. That one's a little bit more woo! But anyway. But here's my point. Otome characters always need to be loved and respected by their audience. Well, their audience is the female audience. We know this. But why is it that the female audience at times, not all of you, a select group, but not all of you, why is it sometimes that the female audience has decided they don't like these characters? Like, you want to know, I'll try about stuff quickly. Do you know one of the reasons that people say they don't like Haruka is the color of her eyes? No, this is no joke. The color of her eyes. Huh? Like, I know for some people personal appearances matter, maybe a little too much, but the color of a person's eyes, think about that. Could you imagine, imagine this for a second. You're going out dating, or you're going out and you want to go on a date with somebody. And maybe you got set up with somebody through a blind date, a dating site, whatever. Now, it says in the description, the person's eyes, or maybe the person maybe the friend of yours setting you up with the person didn't tell you what the person looks like, but now you look at the person and you go, "Ooh, that's your eye color?" Tell me that's one of the most fucked up things you've ever heard of in your life to be judgmental on a person for. Because I don't get it. I've never gotten it. Like, we're all people, right? So, what's up? But I guess my question to the Otoge community is this. What is it about certain Otoge heroines that you can't get with, that you can't wrap your mind around, that you can't embrace? Because here's the funniest part of it. You can usually rename the characters to fit your liking. Now, of course, if you're a guy, you're going to name the character a female name, a feminine name. But if you're a woman, you can name the character yourself. So, calling that character powerless, or an idiot, or clumsy, or stupid, isn't that almost insulting yourself? I don't know. Is it just me? Seriously, is it just me? Because maybe I don't get it. But what do you think about people who basically trash on the female leads of Otome Games? And by the way, I will say this really quick. If female lead characters are not your speed when it comes to playing these games, well, you know there's that genre that's called boys love, right? You could always just play a game with a male lead trying to get with another guy. You could always do that, right? I don't know. But let me know what you think. Later, friends.